Welcome back to another episode of Holy Banter. This is Christina Steele.
And I'm Andrea Simpson. We are here today with two of my awesome Rooted volunteers, Nick and Lexi Krier.
Hello.
Hello.
We're excited to be here.
Yes, welcome. We're so excited to have you, especially because you are the epitome of volunteer that I love to have. So we want to learn how you got there. We want to learn how at 23, because I'm pretty sure at 23 I wasn't like, let's go hang out with middle schoolers and talk about Jesus. Actually, I know I wasn't doing that. So how do we get there? Who do we start with? Lexi or Nick?
Yeah, Lexi,
Ooh.
tell us.
Ladies first.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
There we go. Great choice. Yeah. So it is funny that I was just actually thinking when we started going to St. Al's, we wanted to get involved and volunteer because Nick volunteered a lot. We both volunteered a lot at our churches in college. And we were sitting in the pews last July or August, and I forget who got up.
It was me.
It was probably you. Okay. At the end of Mass and
Yes.
said, there's we're looking for volunteers for our middle school and high school groups. And Nick just looks at me. He's like, we're doing this. And I was like, oh, we've been here for 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, maybe we should, get to know a little bit more about the church, what other opportunities. It's like, no, this is what we're doing. God
We
said
felt
yes.
the calling.
Yeah.
Felt the calling.
Yeah. And then we talked to Andrea and Trisha after Mass, and Trisha was
Mhm.
like, we're taking you guys.
But why
So,
middle school, not high school? I'm curious.
That's a good question. I think mostly it was, I don't know, but
Because Trisha was there.
it was
It was
probably because
Trisha.
Trisha was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said they needed more people in middle school. We're happy to help in middle school. We need practice with children to
Yeah,
be ready
actually.
eventually.
You
It's a good age to
one
start
of the hardest
with.
grades. Yeah.
I'd say 7th and 8th grade would be the hardest.
So, Lexi, we're grateful to have you at Rooted and grateful to have you at our church, but you weren't always Catholic.
No, so that's actually part of maybe why we wanted to do middle school. I grew up in a non-denominational church. I was actually baptized Catholic. I was too young to remember, but at some point my parents decided to go to a non-denominational church, and we've been going there our entire K through 12, which was awesome. And my extended family is all Catholic. My parents and then 1 or 2 other extended family members are just other denominations. So surprisingly, actually, I knew a decent amount about just Catholic practices because we actually kept some of them. We would do Lent. We would do the same meal prayer that we do now, which was
Wow.
fun. So I knew that already. We often did the sign of the cross and would go to Mass sometimes, occasionally, for holidays with my grandparents.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah, so it was interesting, reflecting back throughout the past, several years. I'm like, oh, we actually, this isn't a totally foreign concept to me.
Mhm.
But I thankfully had a really good upbringing in that. My parents, we would try and go to church every week, and thankfully got very involved in high school, and kind of in 8th grade had a moment that was really transformative for me. So we had an awesome student pastor who did middle school and high school, and one week he was giving a sermon on 1 Timothy 4:12, which was just really impactful for me. It was basically preaching on, you're young, but that does not stop you. And I always thought that was really really big for me because I'm sitting there, I'm 13 years old, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? First off, who is Jesus? I knew the idea of God and had learned a lot about that, but nothing had really quite clicked in my personal faith, where I was like, oh, Jesus is amazing, God is amazing, and he wants to get to know me. So 1 Timothy 4:12 is, I'm probably going to misquote it, but do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example in faith, conduct, speech, and a few other things that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's been a while. But just in every way that you act, don't let anybody, stop you, basically. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. This is awesome. So then I got involved I played piano at the time, or still do, but I decided to volunteer for our student band, which was awesome. Met some of my closest friends and just really grew in my faith and had good kind of also 24, 25-year-olds who invested in me, and a couple of younger couples and parents as well who were really well present in my life, which was just amazing. Something that's invaluable for sure. So I think that's also why we were like, okay, this is something that's important. We want to get involved and be that example, hopefully a good example for others.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very important.
It is.
I think the statistic is you have 4 or 5 mentors outside of your parents who should be an influence on you. It can form you as you get older.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Christina, but wasn't Timothy 412 the name of the youth group for a while?
Yeah, I think it was called 412.
Yeah, for
Before-
Timothy
oh, shoot.
412. Yeah.
I think you're right.
So they knew you were coming.
That's funny.
That's very cool.
You brought me into this realization that, like, oh, I didn't see a lot of that when I grew up. I didn't have youth group. Maybe because I just wasn't aware of it, but I feel like it's a lot more common for the non-denominational
Yeah.
churches to have that young pastor in the young youth group.
Mhm.
And for me, it was just all, I guess, like parents teaching the catechesis. And like,
Lame.
Did
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Did you-
Actually, that's me.
Because you converted in 6th grade with your mom and your...
yes, mom and sister.
So did you have any faith life before that?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly don't know what I would have answered if, like, I was asked if I believed in God. I'm sure I would have said yes. Like, there's got to be something. I think my parents believed that. But my dad had fallen away from the faith in college. He didn't come back until later when actually the reason we came back was one of our neighbors, their son died unexpectedly of a heart attack. He had some cardiac issue, which still I don't think and know of. And the funeral was at our church in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, St. Francis Borgia. And that church just brought us in. And my parents felt really called to like start going to mass and like get involved.
Wow.
Because of that.
How did they do that? Like, how do we do that? How do they bring you in? What does that feel like when you haven't been there and you show up, for a tragic reason? And how do we get you to stay?
I wonder what my parents thought because that was like something we'd never been to church before. At least I don't think so. And I think it was just the atmosphere and all the people there. I remember it being a lot of people. That's about all I remember. And the family we loved. So obviously them doing things this way, I think opened up. And probably what was said at the funeral, I think I was told they had some people speak with that, which I guess is not, I haven't been to a Catholic funeral, like Catholic mass funeral before. I guess normally it's pretty silent. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, Christina does funerals.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
allow eulogy at the beginning.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a
Maybe-
homily if
The
they
priest
have
gives a homily.
mass. Yeah.
So I'm sure some of that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
just a God moment for them. And
So how was that for you when your mom and dad were like, "Hey, you're all converting to Catholicism"?
I don't even remember.
You're only in
I was
6th
like,
grade.
okay. Like, I kind of didn't like having to get up on Sundays
Yeah,
and go
right.
to church because we all basically went through OCIA. My dad went with us and stuff, but I'd always try to get out of it. Like, I just did
Yeah,
not.
that's a reality check right there.
Yeah, I couldn't remember a single thing I was taught, like, specifically there, other than how to receive communion. I remember that.
That's good. That's a big.
That's-
I'm glad we don't. Our volunteers here are very qualified.
So then what kind of ignited your faith life?
My parents always made the first priority, like even when we went on trips, was to go to mass. Like we always had to, we could not miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really understand why. I didn't realize like the Eucharist was the true presence of Christ. I don't think I understood that. My parents
Might need a
still.
new OCI catechist.
My dad actually teaches OCIA.
Oh no! Hopefully he includes
No,
that.
No,
He wanted to improve our process.
There you go.
He's had a huge. So then he started talking more about God and like teaching leading the family because
Right.
pretty much it was just church and that was it throughout the weeks. And we didn't really get involved. I had to go to the high school classes that prepped for confirmation just because I got baptized and confirmed when I came in 6th grade. But my parents wanted me to learn, so I didn't really like that and eventually got out of some of it. But around those times, I would say my dad, still would bring up church and other topics. And it wasn't until college when he really started deeply asking me stuff and like asking that I go to church because when you go to college, like you don't have to do what your family does anymore. But then it was basically finding the community my junior year of college.
Purdue.
At St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic
That's a great
Center.
school.
Boiler up.
Or a great
Boiler
church,
up.
yeah.
Great school
For
and a
some
great
reason,
church.
we only have Boilermakers graduates on our podcast.
That is not true. We had
Wonder why.
we had Brenda.
Yeah,
and
we had
Daryl.
one
Well,
IU.
no, Daryl went to Purdue.
Yeah, one
Sorry.
Hoosier.
We had Brenda.
I went to IU. Andrea's biased.
Well, we talked about this. I went to IU Law School, and I don't use
shoot.
it anymore. So
What does that say about IU?
Right? Hey, they trained me well, all right?
There you go.
My parents and my sister all went to IU Law School, and they're
Oh, okay.
great lawyers, so.
So, what drew you to St. Tom's in college, though?
Well, I would say first Lexi, I met a wonderful young
Oh.
lady
Oh.
who really was inspiring with her faith. Like, she just showed it so beautifully, and she prioritized it, like, more than anyone I'd really met. Like, meet friends and whatnot. They'd go to different churches, sometimes don't go. Like, I didn't understand the difference of denominations and all that.
Mhm.
But she was so loving and
Aw.
really made it clear that that was her priority. And so when I was, like, getting to know her and wanted to start dating her, like, that became an interesting point where she'd ask me questions, and she knew a little bit about Catholicism, and she's like, "Well, you believe this, and I don't, and we believe different things, so this might cause issue." I'm like, "Oh, I do believe that?"
Do we?
I don't know.
What am I supposed to believe?
And I didn't really care about all
Yeah,
that much
yeah.
before,
You
like,
just wanted to go on a date.
when finding someone,
Right.
but I really, really loved her, so
Oh.
she just inspired me in that way. So then she pushed me to get involved. She's like, "Well, you start learning, I want you to get involved and actually, like, use this community that's here
Mhm.
and your faith that you have." And I started going to a Bible study with wonderful people from St. Tom's. That
Mhm.
actually her best friend, I think, invited me first, yeah, that community was amazing,
Yeah.
and the people invited me in, um, especially invited me to the Boiler Awakening retreat
Mhm.
Mm.
a couple months later, which I'm sure you
I've
might have heard
heard.
about. It's
What was
incredible.
that experience like for you?
Oh, it was incredible. It was, like, just being vulnerable with a group of people for, like, 48 hours. You get the same people, and you're constantly talking and learning about Catholicism, like,
Mhm.
every inch of it, it feels like you touch on, and I just didn't know I had, like, experiences, like, that were just made me so in love with what I was learning, and so it was really cool to be there.
What's an example of an experience you had on that retreat?
Well, I can't spoil
I know,
in
there's, like,
case people go, there's a
surprises.
special but basically, there's a kind of event that happens that, well, you can cut it out so I can
Do
say
Yeah,
we
it.
yeah,
say
yeah.
spoiler alert? Turn off now if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
that
going
might
to Boiler
be
Awakening.
if you're going to Boiler Awakening, but they do, like, a recreation of the Passion,
Oh.
and they, like, act it out, and
Oh.
it's so well done, and it, like, made me really, like, bawl, and I was, like, in tears the whole time, and it was, like, really moving.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, and just seeing the people that care for me, like, they have, so many people praying for you the whole time, and it's really cool.
That is. So were you on the team after did you help put on the retreat?
Yes, so then so that was my 2nd semester of junior year, and I helped do the fall semester and spring semester of senior year
That's cool.
because in small group, because I
Mhm.
loved that. And yeah, it's other people have had amazing experiences. I've seen people that I'd never seen at that church before to now
Yeah.
participating, coming every day, like, to the downstairs just to hang out with people and get
Wow.
involved and go to mass all the time, and it's cool.
So at this point, Lexi, you're talking about Catholicism, but you hadn't converted yet? Is that true?
No.
Okay.
So I had an interesting, I'd say, freshman, sophomore experience. So I went into college and I kind of had this question of, um, I mentioned earlier, I was baptized Catholic,
Mhm.
but I kind of came into college having this question of like, do I need to be like baptized as an adult? Like,
Mm.
what is up with this? Because I think in some of my junior and senior year of high school, that was kind of a question that came up and I was very hesitant to go forward with it. So I had that question going into college and it kind of made me think, okay, like, also, where do I want to find my church home? Because I knew I had such a great community in high school.
Mm.
I wanted to find that community pretty quickly. And so I was going to, trying out a couple different churches in like the, Baptist category.
Mhm.
But then I ended up at this one church that initially kind of seemed like it answered a lot of my questions. But then ultimately I found out, it was such a wonderful community. Like the people are just so loving and you can just see how much like they love the Lord. But I started to discover some, like, doctrinal things that they believed, and I was like, "Wait a minute, this is not adding up." And so
Well, like, what's an
it's,
example?
it was interesting because actually when Nick came into the picture of my life, I was with this church for, probably I guess it was 2nd semester I was with them, but I had mentioned Nick, and I was like, "Yeah, he's Catholic," and they're like, oh, we don't believe Catholics are Christians. And I was like, I've never heard that before. Like, I've never
Mm.
even considered that, like, there's a denomination of Christians that aren't Christians. So it was really eye-opening. I was just very startled. I was like, wait, what else do you guys believe? Because I hadn't really, growing up in like a non-denominational church, doctrine was never really mentioned. We were very focused on like community and building a relationship with Jesus and like the foundational things of what forms Christianity. But I didn't even know that there were differences between denominations. And I was like, wait a minute. This is weird. They're like, yeah, we don't believe Lutherans are Christians. We don't believe Baptists are Christians. I was like, wait a minute, who are you guys?
Why did they
Who are
believe
we?
that?
I know, it was so interesting. So they had an interesting approach to Christianity. And this was, as I discovered, a newer branch. Like it started maybe 35, 40 years ago. And I was like, I feel like you guys are too young to have any say on this, And they, as I just, continued to learn, like I just found that they had a couple of like extreme beliefs of, they took things seriously, but in maybe the wrong direction.
Mm.
And so I took a step back and away from that church and decided to go to another Baptist church with some of my friends that was a much more stable and actually pretty solid church. And so that was just really interesting for me to learn and just have these conversations with them. And kind of came to a point where I was like, I don't feel like this is where God is really at. It was, even though like you can see that they have a strong love for each other and for, doing good and doing good acts of service, but I just don't think doctrinally they were in the right place. So yeah, it was an interesting couple of months to work through that and having hard conversations too with that group. To say that I just, I don't think that this is where God is calling me to.
So you went from 30 to 40 years to like 2000.
Yeah,
You're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's skip it and go with 2000.
So, exactly right. So the next about 2.5 years, so this was halfway through sophomore year, I had made this decision. Nick and I had just started dating, so December of our sophomore year. But yeah, over the next, I'd say about 2.5 years, I started really trying to understand, okay, what is God trying to intend for how we live in community with each other on earth? And so that started an interesting conversation with my best friend who was raised Catholic, Nick, and some of our other good friends, Nick, of course, yes. Some of our other good friends who are also Catholic, that again, I just started noticing like God was like putting these people in my life in like clubs. I made these friends. Like again, my best friend is Catholic, and so we had some really good conversations. And she was one of the first people I met who like I had this, as many people do, you have a bit of a stigma. You're like, oh, Catholics, like they don't get the personal relationship part. And I had such a strong foundation in that. But I met her, and like from the first day that we met, we've been best friends. And I was like, oh, like she's Catholic and she has a personal relationship with Jesus. This is awesome. Like, and she would just talk about Jesus and the Lord like second nature. And it was awesome. Also, I should know, I'm a crier.
We love that.
You're like career.
A career and a crier.
We love that here on the podcast.
Good.
So
Okay. You're
keep the
gonna
tears coming.
Yes. I see the tissue box
Yeah.
over there.
And just make sure you're armed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. Yes. And I think it just comes from, just vulnerable conversations. Sometimes, my true ducks work in a special way. It's a gift in a way. We'll put it that way.
Well,
But
I
anyway.
think it's just a testament to how deeply you feel things, because to have those thoughts at 18, 19, 20 years old, like, what do I want to believe? Where do I want to go with this? I'll tell you what, I was not. That didn't happen for some of us. Some of us did not think that way.
You're like, where am I drinking?
Yeah, some of us were like, who's going to Jake's with me? Like, are we dressing up for Breakfast Club? Like, I was not. Now, to be fair, I was raised Catholic in this parish, and we would go to church every Sunday. When we'd go on vacation, we would go to Mass. My dad would find it in like MapQuest or whatever. We
And
didn't
your
have the
dad's not even
internet, so I don't know. And my dad's not even Catholic. Yeah, he was forced us to go. That's a
That's
whole other podcast. So I felt like I had that.
Did
you
you
know,
go
like
to,
I knew.
Did you go to St. Tom's on a regular basis when you were up there?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
I did not. I also didn't go to
That's pretty
Boiler
typical,
Awakening, so
though.
you ruined it for me. No, I can
You're not allowed to go in.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I didn't go to Boiler Awakening. No,
Yeah,
I
you
think
know.
I kind of felt. I felt like I had that piece, and the questions were answered for me. And also, we've talked about this at work, but like I'm a believer. So like if I believe it, like we're in, we're
Yeah.
good.
You
I'm
don't need
good.
to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's things I need to do. So I need to finish school. I need to have fun while I'm here. I need to go to law school, be a lawyer, move on, blah, blah, blah. So that wasn't, I just didn't think that way. Like my brain didn't think that way.
Well, and I think part of it is when you're Catholic and you're surrounded by it your whole life, you
Right.
just take it for granted.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it is we grow up with it, we take it for granted,
Oh, for sure.
and you don't appreciate the gift it is until it does awaken in your life.
Yeah. And I think there were things too, like because I talked to my mom about it and she's like, I'm so glad you're, at St. Al's doing this for the kids and having youth group because you didn't have that. And I don't remember what we had, honestly. I know I went like on a mission trip and I know I did things here and there that would like light my faith on fire. And then it would just kind of slip back into weekly mass.
Well, it sounds like the advantage Lexi had, she had good mentors in her life.
Yeah. Yeah. That had that personal relationship to where you're thinking like, you're so connected. Like, it's not just another piece of you. It is who you are. For me, that was just another piece for a long time.
Yeah.
It was just another piece of like, okay, here's what we do on Sunday, kind of move on. And that really wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
Like we'd go to CCD, we'd go to whatever.
It was very much check the box.
But it wasn't who I was as a person. Like, and I'm grateful now that's who I am.
It happens eventually, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah,
Some of us
everybody
takes
said
a little longer.
And that's okay. God's got a plan for each and every one of us.
Right?
Yeah.
God was like, hurry up, get Lexi here so she can come volunteer for 2025.
Make sure her husband shapes up so he
Right?
can help.
Can you
Future
please
husband.
tell Nick what we believe? Can you please let him know?
But it is remarkable at your age that you're with these adults and you're like, hey, what you believe is not jiving with me, so I'm going to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting time. And I think going through the rest of sophomore year, junior year, senior year, we actually had a Bible study with most of our friend group, which was awesome. And it was a mix of, Baptist, Catholics, Lutherans.
Oh, they're non-denominational.
Christians.
Christians,
Christians.
yes. It was a
All
Christian
Christians.
Bible study. And it was awesome because we had a couple of interesting conversations every now and then. It was like, oh, like there's some slight differences. We realized we all believe pretty much the same thing. We got the core things there.
Exactly.
Traditions and practices are different, and some other things are different. But we realized there was a lot that we could still share in and bond over. And it was honestly really cool. I think
was
we all
awesome.
learned a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you started kind of thinking about Catholicism, or was that just still kind of not even a thought?
That kind of entered into my mind like junior year, I'd say.
Sounds right.
Did you go to St. Tom's?
Every now and then. So he would come to my church, I would come to his church. Yeah. So we did that for a while. There were a couple things I would go to with you, like some like the socials or like the big events happening at St. Tom's, I would go. We went to adoration a couple times, which was really powerful for me. And it was interesting. I've told Nick this a couple times. So he invited me to adoration. They have on Friday nights?
Friday nights.
Yeah. St. Tom's does this thing called Exalt. And it's super fun. Well, I guess
It's
fun might
incredible.
not be the right word, but it's a cool place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But they
So
would
it's like
do,
adoration with benediction and music and that's cool.
And that was what was funny for me is I went in and I didn't know what to expect. I don't remember if you may have been to Exalt once or twice before, and you
Maybe. I probably didn't explain it to you well either.
I had a
Nick
half
doesn't
idea.
know. He doesn't know.
No, this is when I actually did.
Okay, Nick knew.
This
I
is
was
when
going
you
to
finally
say,
knew,
yeah, if you're in adoration, I feel like you're probably past that point.
Yeah, but he had invited me, early like halfway through our junior year, and I went and again didn't know what to expect. I knew it was gonna be very quiet and just a time of like prayer and reflection and stuff, and like the Eucharist was up on the altar. But then all of a sudden they started playing. I forget what song it was, but it was like a modern song, and it was a group of like 5 students who volunteered, and they played different of them had they had different instruments they were playing, and there was someone singing, and I think they were playing like something along the lines of like Build My Life. And I just started bawling because I was like, oh my gosh, like first off, it was beautiful. Secondly, I was like, wait a minute, that's what we do. I was like, this is awesome. Like it was just such a beautiful moment of just like getting to see how we can express our love. And I remember I told Nick, I think it was the second time I went with you, I was sitting in prayer and God was like, you're gonna marry this man. And I was like,
Oh.
wait a minute. I was like,
Got him.
yeah, it was really funny. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So did you believe the Eucharist?
I think it was after I had graduated had it really clicked and
What was
synced in. And
Yeah.
it was just so beautiful because I had read there were I did a lot of reading. Again, I'm an engineer, so there's a lot of research that goes into every decision I
Textbooks you
made.
gotta read.
Yeah. But I had read Brant Petry's Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the
Yeah, it's a good
Eucharist.
book.
That was a fantastic, absolutely beautiful book that helped me to start to put together what Jesus is trying to say when he says,
Mhm.
this is my body given for you. So reading that and then also just again spending more time in adoration was wonderful. Absolutely
Mhm.
wonderful. I couldn't spend an hour there. I could spend like 30 minutes was great for me.
Yeah.
That was my sweet spot. After senior year, it really started to click for me, and especially going through OCIA, I was like, yeah, this is 100% it. And that was kind of going into OCIA, I was like, I think I get it. I'm pretty much there, and like I know I'd had lots of conversations going into before starting OCIA with family members, Nick, of course.
And
Uh,
probably my family
yeah,
too.
your
I
family.
don't
Your
know.
your dad does not shy away from tough questions, and I've always appreciated that.
Wonderful
Um,
man.
he knows how to ask good questions.
So when did you come in the church?
This was April of last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well,
April 19th.
we should add that we got engaged like right before you like started OCA in July.
Okay.
So it
Yeah.
was like kind of not because we got engaged, but
Right.
Yeah.
She was
she
already
was planning on that.
Mhm.
But it's
Right.
also an important time for our relationship. Like we're preparing for marriage too. So
It's a big preparatory year. Yeah. Senior year, I think once I had seen Nick, and I know you'll talk about it too, but I'd seen Nick just grow so much in his faith. And I was like, wow, dang, I need to learn some stuff here. Like, we had seriously started thinking about like engagement and what life after college might look like. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, obviously we're going to have to address the church thing. But as we had more conversations and I started reading the catechism too, senior year, and doing the catechism in the year by Father Mike Schmitz,
Father
love it.
Mike,
Love
shout out.
him.
Unsolicited ad. But I think just getting to have some really critical conversations with Nick about, like for me, church is very important. Obviously, you would agree. But I wanted also to make sure that for me, going to the same church as a family, if God blesses us with kids, like that's going to be very important for
Mhm.
me. And I wanted to have that unity. So I was like, okay, like even if we're not the same denomination, like I want unity, but like I'm gonna push really hard to understand where I'm at. Cause again, I was kind of struggling with like what is God looking for? Or what does God want us to do in community here? And I hadn't been raised with
Like, what does church look like
yeah,
here?
what does church look
Mhm.
like? Exactly. It's just again something that was a foreign concept to me growing up, but like as I was going through college became a more and more important question. So yeah, we had a bunch of conversations about like why is there papal authority? Like that was a big one that honestly that clicked first for me, I'd say.
That seems to be a very common reason why
Yeah,
people convert.
exactly.
They like having one authority.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it makes sense and like Jesus gave us gave that authority, to Peter and it was always that was something that I'm glad that clicked first for me because it made a lot of other things make sense.
So, what was your parents' reaction when you told them you were converting?
Oh, that's a
Was
good
that harder
question.
to be converting or engaged?
Oh, that's a
Do
good
they like
question.
Nick?
Converting for sure. For sure converting with or sorry, wait.
Well, I mean, were
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
wait, wait.
because you
I
guys
forgot
are
to say.
pretty young to get married.
Yeah,
Your parents
true.
weren't upset or
It was an interesting conversation. I'd say to answer your first question, I guess I think the conversion was harder than the engagement. They loved Nick.
Mhm.
Like Nick was like a
Aw,
built-in part of our family at that point.
Aw.
they're wonderful.
Yeah,
Where do they live?
they're in Carmel.
Oh,
So yeah, I
okay.
grew up
That's right.
around here. So
That's right.
yeah, this area is very familiar to me. So I think my dad was pretty, I don't know if he saw it coming, but I think both of them like maybe it was a little shocking at first. It was a hard conversation, but I think ultimately it was the elephant in the room that wasn't being addressed for a while.
I'm sure they're
Yeah.
just happy you're going to church and
Oh yeah,
practicing your faith.
exactly. Yeah. No, I know they're always as long as that's there.
Mhm.
I think my dad said he's like, you're going to church and you're loving God. Like he's putting you where he wants you to be.
That's
And
nice.
I always appreciated that.
Yeah, when I asked to marry her,
Mhm.
that was hard for me. That was the hardest part
That
for
was hard for you,
sure.
yeah.
Asking the parents?
Yes, just because it's such like when do you bring it up? And
Ah.
it was the day I like moved down here from Wisconsin after a 2-week Italy trip, like post graduation. I got down here. I'm like, I told my parents and sister while we were in Italy, like, hey, I'm planning to like ask her dad soon because I want to marry her.
Mhm.
And the first night, I had a week before work started. We were at her parents' place, and she started the next day and was like getting ready for bed. And her mom was out of the house, and her brother was out of the house for some reason. So it was just me and her dad. and he
To be a
and, it,
fly on the wall.
and she's like, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get showered and ready for bed. I'm like, well, this is.
Uh-oh.
I was like,
This is
I wonder
it.
when God will tell me like is the time. Well, that was the time because that was like instantly the first time just him and I. And what he said was, all I ask is that you keep God at the center. Like,
Oh.
it's like
That's
I can tell
nice.
you're both like very mature and ready for this, and keep God at the center, and that's what matters. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
He really said the kindest thing. So yeah, that was
That was a lot
yeah.
harder for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
came down, you had no idea.
Right, I came
We're
down and I
just
was like,
sitting
"What
on
have
the-
you guys been talking about?" Did not get an answer.
I
The
said, I
rest
definitely,
of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely said you, and you're like, oh yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
we were talking about
That's so sweet.
you.
Yeah.
So God told Lexi that you were the one. How did you know Lexi was the one?
I think in high school, I had friends who I really liked, and girls just didn't talk to me. Like I was always the friend.
You're too nice,
I was
right?
also very small in high school, like very short. Like I was always behind.
You know what? And that cracks me up because Nick and Lexi were at my house the other night because we had volunteer parties. And my 6-year-old Walker was like, "How tall are you?" to Nick.
No, he said you. Oh, wait, sorry, go.
And Nick's like, "I'm 5'9". And what did he say to you?
He said you look shorter.
That sounds like one.
He's like, "Oh yeah, you look shorter than that."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was so
He got
funny.
roasted by his 6-year-old.
Yeah.
In
Oh.
dinosaur shoes.
And a Spider-Man mask.
Yeah.
You know, like, and those weren't shoes; those were slippers, by the way.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Anyway,
Hysterical.
I really hope for his sake he is 6'2", which is what he's telling everyone he's gonna be. But
Otherwise it's
yeah,
gonna-
he'll be really disappointed, I think.
I'll
That's
ask him
really
that
funny.
question.
So go ahead.
Yeah,
Finish
you're
your
the
Oh, yeah.
friend.
But yeah, I was always the friend. Like no matter what I did, like I was never, no one ever really paid attention to me in those ways. But when I met Lexi in college, like she actually like showed interest, and I had my first ever date was with her.
Aw.
I asked her after we were studying with our friends. Well, I first met her. We were getting back together with some soccer friends sophomore year, right at the beginning, and one of them brought her roommate, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, didn't think anything of it. And I really liked her. It's like, she's gorgeous and she's like really sweet and a normal person.
The most important fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta be
Not weird like
normal.
me. I have to shape up. And so we got to hanging out and talking like with the friend group. And I brought some of my roommates in, and we're all still friends. That's like our big group to this day. But one night we were studying together and brought up Triple X and
Oh, yeah.
the peanut butter burger.
Oh, I
As
used
you
to
know
live
of.
across the street from
Oh,
Triple X. I lived at
lucky.
Winsong for 2 years.
Nice.
So
Wow. Yeah, so the next day I was talking to my buddy. I'm like, I kind of want to ask her out. Like, I've never done this. Everything's always gone wrong in my past. Like 6+ attempts. 6+ attempts with women is just not a good record. So I was like, I don't even want to say anything until I know for sure. But he kind of pushed me and was like, no, you just send it. So I sent it. I was like, hey, all that talk about peanut butter burgers sure made me hungry. Want to
And it
get some later? That was incredible.
sweet.
What
I think I said, yeah, sounds great.
yeah. Our professional texting
Oh, of
voices.
course.
Yeah. And you still sound that way when I read your text. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't blame you.
that's her text voice.
Yeah. And then then we got dinner at Triple X, peanut butter
Mm.
burgers.
And it was awesome.
And
It
it
was
was
the first time.
really wonderful. And I was like, wow, like I actually have like amazing conversation with this woman, and it was like nonstop, just felt like it flew by.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just talked about everything, and it was like so natural. It wasn't like just awkwardly sitting there like, hey. And so that was like, I was like feeling the best the entire world after that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then things happened.
But I
Got-
turned him down.
I got friend zoned
no.
again.
He now knows it was for good reasons. It was when I was
Yes.
starting to have these questions about the church I was going to. I was like, I need to make this my priority.
Oh,
I need to focus
okay.
on this right now because I'm not sure. That was, no offense, that was the more important thing to me right in that moment.
Valid.
I was
I'm
like,
glad
I
you
need to
focused on
figure
it.
out what's going on here because, yeah, my faith community is extremely important to me. And I told you that after we started dating, but
So
yeah, I didn't tell you in the moment.
so you guys just kind of were friends. Did you hang out
Mhm.
as friends? And
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
friends and only with group.
is
Yeah.
this when she told you needed to start practicing your faith?
No, actually, that was like I want to say that was like a year later
Oh, that
after like
it was over the summer. So it
or
was
maybe
like,
over the summer. Yeah,
maybe so.
that makes sense.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
It was nice. I'm glad that I mean, obviously, like, it would have been cool if we were started dating earlier and I didn't have those issues, of course.
No,
But
God's plan.
God's plan, it was so a wonderful blessing to just be friends for that first 4 months. It really was. And like,
Yeah.
again, we were able to like form like an incredible friend group, like some of my
Mhm.
favorite people in the world, and just have that time where it's not awkward, there's no drama yet, where we're all just friends and buddies and growing closer to each other. But it was great.
So
Yeah.
what's faith look like now? You're married. You got married last summer,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last summer, yeah.
and then so you're approaching your
1
1
year.
one
is coming
year.
up,
Yeah.
June
Ooh.
28th.
Oh,
Yeah. No, faith has been honestly it's been wonderful after college. We still yeah, because we're about 2 years out of college now. So a bunch of our friends, the Purdue Indianapolis pipeline is strong. So
Strong.
we thankfully
Amen.
have a lot of friends who moved down to this area and that we see on a regular basis. My best friend, we lived with each other a year after college, so before Nick and I got married, which was an amazing time. But we have a weekly Bible study with them and do a lot with them, which has been really
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah, it's almost like I don't know, it's been just so wonderful just to have a similar community and just such wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful young adults in our
Yeah.
life that we still get to see on a regular basis and get to do life with too. Yeah.
Yeah, and these people like actually care too about their faith. Like
Mhm.
when I grew up being Catholic, the people I met who were Catholic weren't like
Yeah.
it wasn't apparent that they cared that much, or I didn't know how Catholics live differently from any other people.
Mm-hmm.
But going to Purdue and finding those people, like I was like, they're like, "Oh yeah, we go to daily mass. Yeah, we pray the rosary." I'm like, "Oh, what are those?" Like, I haven't done those in a long
Wow,
time.
I
was
really
like,
want to question your OCIA.
like I said,
It's his dad.
no, like I said,
His dad when he went through
I'm just kidding.
I think it was just I was too young. I mean, it's definitely better now because
Your
my
dad's
dad
running
and
it.
he
Yeah,
has had
thank God for him. And what's your
explosion.
dad's name?
David.
David. Thank God for David.
David
You
David
know,
is amazing.
keeps him on the straight and narrow.
He has transformed it into amazing things.
Well, and you live in a wonderful diocese up in Green Bay, Milwaukee.
Yes,
Yeah, that diocese is on fire, so that
it's
helps a lot.
wonderful, yeah.
But yeah, so back to your question. So faith now that we're married, it's been awesome because it's just been so wonderful. We had especially in our engagement year, like, we focused a lot on, like just praying very intentionally for our marriage. But now that we're on the other side of that wedding day, it's just been so wonderful to, yeah, just get to pray together as a as a family of two, but
Family.
pray together as a family and just keep each other like, be able to understand each other's how to pray for each other with like deep intentions and things that are really on your mind. Yeah, that's been wonderful. We've been trying to do adoration more.
Mhm. Yeah.
We have a friend couple who they make adoration like their weekly practice. So, like every Thursday night, like we're gonna, they go to St. Joan of Arc, but they're like every Thursday night we're going. And I was like, that's really impactful. And I think through this Lenten season, that's kind of that's the fruit that came out of it for me is like, I want to spend whether it's 30 minutes, hour, whatever it
Mhm.
ends up being, like make intentional time every week to go to adoration. I'm still building that muscle, but
Yeah.
Yeah, as busy people, it's
Yeah.
hard too sometimes.
Yeah, I
that
know.
too. Getting to do rooted and volunteer in that way. Bible study, mass every week. Routinely going to confession to each other, or sorry, confession together. That's the word.
Open confession.
But yeah, like encouraging each other to go routinely has been, I think, really helpful. It keeps both of us accountable, and then also kind of encourages us both to to really reflect, like, what is separating me from God, or like, what can I be doing better? And just keeping that at the forefront of our minds has been pretty cool.
Yeah, I like now that we're married too, like every night before bed. Well, after getting in bed, we pray
Mhm.
and like before we go to bed. And that's something like out loud. And it always centers me at the end of the day. Like sometimes I'm like, I just want to go to bed. So many times I just want to go to bed and like I can go through everything in my head. Like it'll be
Yeah.
fine. But it's so meaningful to say out loud,
That
really like hear each other's.
I think that's nice. My husband's a very private person, and we tried to pray together once, and that was pretty much the end of it, I think. It's just awkward for both of us because we just
Yeah.
ain't I think it's smart to start early because,
Yeah, I
we've been
would.
married almost 25 years, and to start now is a little bit harder, but I still have hope someday we will, but it's a good foundation because then as you have children, then it's nice to make that a family routine.
Yeah, I'd
Mhm.
love to. Yeah, be with
Yeah.
the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest thing, like, something I guess I didn't even think about or
Yeah, I didn't grow up
expect,
yeah.
like, that we'd be doing because, like, every night was always we leave each other when we were dating. It's like you don't get to be with them still, and so
Mhm.
it's cool. That's my favorite part about marriage is you don't have to spend time
You don't have to
driving.
leave.
You don't have to leave to go see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't end. The fun doesn't end.
Yeah.
It's like never-ending fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's amazing.
Sleepover every night.
Best friend sleepover.
slumber
We
party.
said that
Aw.
every day. We're like, best friend sleepover soon. Yeah.
There's
Oh.
so much room for activity.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So funny.
That's adorable.
So wonderful, yeah.
I love that.
I love that you guys are
energy.
doing middle school because, I
Mhm.
think having young people in there's a
Hopefully.
good
Hopefully.
inspiration for them.
No, you are. You are. What is the craziest thing that happened while you were at Rooted this year?
Oh man.
Or your
craziest thing?
favorite part?
You clearly have one.
My-
Why are we laughing?
One of our kids, I love them all. They're all so adorable and they do everything with us and they want to be there. It feels like there's that core group that wants to be there.
Yeah.
And we were going to the when Dr. Italy was here
Yes,
doing
the
I
revival.
forget- the revival,
Uh-huh.
yeah. The first night, I think we went, yeah, because it started on Sunday night. Went there with our kids and walked in, and one of them goes, "Where's that music coming from? This is a church, not a concert." I was like, "Wow, very trad. I love it." I was like, "I'm glad you're thinking that." I was like,
Yeah, Christina. God.
it was so funny, and because she just thought we were like going to church, I guess. I was like, "We're gonna go
Why are
here,
these people being
talk
loud?
and music," and it was so funny. I was like trying to explain to her like, "Oh yeah, we're just like I'm sure they're playing like Christian music and it's wonderful before our speaker comes in." And oh my gosh, it was so funny.
Cracked me up.
Well, so I have a story. I did a scavenger hunt, but it was like a race. They had to go in the church and find all these
Oh
things.
no.
So they were running so fast that a kid did a face plant into one of the handicap signs, which I'm sure wasn't funny at the
Were there
time. but
tears?
I don't even remember.
If there's
It was-
not tears, it's not youth ministry, honestly.
but
That's when
I
it's
just
fun.
I couldn't imagine how that even happened. They were just running and not looking.
Yeah, clearly
That's
not.
not one of those I anticipated was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Right. It's a competitive
So I knew
crowd.
not to do races after that. Where you're
Right.
running on campus.
Yeah. I think they do love a good scavenger hunt.
Yes.
However, I have found that they will cheat at any game.
Oh
I
no,
can
they did. They
possibly
cheat.
come up with.
Yeah, they
Yep.
cheat.
So we did like a scavenger hunt with the Beatitudes around the church. And so they were supposed to get a clue and like think about it, right? And be like, okay, the Easter egg might be here because here's our clue. No, they just ran around like
Mhm.
maniacs looking for
Yeah,
eggs.
no,
And they're like,
Oh,
let's find that.
no.
I'm like, it's not an Easter egg hunt.
That's about how mine was. It
You
was
need the
like
clue.
they were supposed to find these different items in the church, like
Yeah.
the tabernacle or whatever. And basically the leaders just told them where they were and they checked
Right.
and they just
Oh,
ran. And so
no.
what I
What?
thought was
Yeah.
going to take 20 minutes took like 4.
Right.
So then I had to figure out what to do for 15
That
minutes.
sounds about right.
And someone smacked the handicap sign.
I like it.
Yeah, they need to chill out for sure. There's only so much energy, and you know something's got to go. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
just the odds and how many people are there, probably
Yes.
that someone
Right.
falls is just too
Oh
high.
my gosh. Yeah, and we're gonna need a whole nother year between pinatas, I
Yep.
think. Yeah,
That
we had a Cinco de Mayo
awesome.
party.
Yeah.
That
And-
was one of my other.
Yeah. That was a highlight for you? Was Secret of the Wild?
Watching the kids hitting
Yeah.
the piñata.
It
Oh my
was just,
gosh.
I had never seen that energy from them, like, that much at once.
Were they all hitting it at once?
Well, they didn't understand that they had to stand back, like,
Oh.
until
Yes, they did, Nick, but the candy's
Swing
in
it.
the piñata.
Did someone get hit?
Yeah.
No, but they realized once, like, something came close, like, "Guys, back up!" I'm like, "That's what I've been telling you." But they all jumped on Paul when when it fell and he's trying to shake the candy out. They all just, like, I think they were, like, grabbing it. I think some were, like, on his
Oh,
leg.
do I get the piñata?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my
Glasses
gosh.
were knocked down.
Yeah.
It was...
There were tears.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, patience at all. Like, well, hold on. I never have heard Paul, like, he'll always be able to get it
Yeah,
together for, like, guys, stop, and they'll eventually listen, whatever
Yeah.
he says. But this time, I'd never seen him, like, have to just give up.
That's where it's like,
They
and
didn't-
that picture is on our
Yeah, I
Facebook
saw it.
page. And it's like, that's where it benefits when you're taller than all of them. Because in
Yes.
5th and 6th grade, they're still small.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
just like twice their size, like, back up,
Yeah.
get away. Yeah.
That's
Oh
really
my
funny.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I know, but it's funny though in the pictures. So, everybody's having so much fun. Like everybody's smiling. And then 2 seconds later, it's like everybody's crying, because they didn't get candy. But you have to go back and look at that picture because the adult faces were like the biggest smiles. They're like, this is hilarious.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
I'm pretty sure they had more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi, do you have?
Do I have a
Oh
favorite?
yeah.
moment?
What's your favorite?
Oh, Van, I mean, that one was pretty good. Yeah. It might be the piñata, which I realize is the most.
You didn't even
recent,
see it.
but- I know, but just even the story
Just
was
the vibes.
hysterical. Yeah, because like I was inside I was doing Spanish bingo inside, and it was just chaos. Like the 5th and 6th grade energy is like they're like screaming.
I can't believe
Yeah.
for bingo that it was that
Oh my
bad when you told
gosh.
me that.
7th and 8th grade was so chill.
I
Yeah.
do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do at Lilly?
I did biomedical engineering at Purdue,
Uh-huh.
and so I work in there. It's a medicine company, of course, but I work in
That's
the
their tagline.
right exactly. Yeah,
And that is a good.
Nick will laugh because I have like I have my spiel.
Yeah, I can tell you. No,
I
you go.
describe what I do, but I work in the device development team.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I work primarily with kind of in between like the drug development team and like the device team. So it's
Mhm.
like the container closure. So if you
Oh.
know like the syringes, vials,
Mhm.
cartridges that come in your insulin pens or auto injectors, we're the team that oversees the development all of that to support either new device development or new drug product.
It's cool.
And Nick,
Nice.
other than piñatas and middle school ministry, what do you do? How do you make your money?
He's really,
I-
really smart.
No.
What?
He's an actuary.
Yes.
Have you
I'm an
passed all your
actuary.
tests?
I have the first credentials.
Okay,
So I have
because there's
my-
7, right?
There's 2 credentials, but
Okay.
there's like 10 exams.
Yeah.
So,
So how many exams have you
so
taken?
I have 6.
I
Counts as
mean,
7.
you have to be a genius to be an actuary.
I know.
No.
My
Keep telling
cousin's
it.
husband is
Yeah.
an actual.
You gotta be stupid enough to keep studying.
Yeah.
It was enjoyed meeting you both.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
a lot of fun to
you.
get
Lovely
to know
to meet
you,
you.
and just
Yeah.
glad you're at our parish. It'll be fun to watch your relationship continue and
Thank you.
hopefully your family grow. And
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited. I think also like, yeah, it's just so wonderful to just see a community that has so much going on. And it's been awesome. And, yeah, we're just excited to get more plugged in and just continue to grow here. So, yeah.
Well, we're so excited to have you here on the podcast and in the parish and in middle school ministry, especially.
if you love Holy Banter, you can support us by opening your podcast app and hitting the 5-star button and leaving a quick review. It's easy and it helps us reach way more people. Thank you for listening.